Norman Provisor's been following elections closely for decades.
The old politics triumph.
He remembers watching the DNC back in 1968.
Yes, I did watch it in 68, and it was not a pleasant sight.
Watching when the Democratic Party's search for a candidate
Battled and were battered.
was overshadowed by what happened on Chicago's streets.
Protests went crazy, and the response to them, in many ways, was even crazier. It was very dramatic, but in a very negative way.
Both the 68 convention and the 24 DNC held in Chicago, both suddenly with new candidates for president ready to make a run for the White House, and both with thousands of protesters pushing back on a war just a few streets away. Provisor says that's where the similarities stop.
The 68 convention in Chicago ripped the Democratic Party apart. Ripped it apart. This convention has seen the Democratic Party sew itself up. It's enormously unified.
He says part of that is the party unity sweeping delegates into the DNC.
It's an enormously positive event.
Provisor says as the convention continues, he expects this DNC will draw another comparison altogether.
It will probably be compared in many ways to the convention in Denver.
Provisor says he was there in 2008, watching as Barack Obama accepted his party's nomination here in Colorado. As Kamala Harris's campaign picks up steam, he says this convention could stand out for a moment in history all its own.
This will be the convention, if that path is followed, this will be the convention that produced the first woman, as well as first Black, Asian, other categories, but the first woman to become president of the United States.
And Provisor says another way this DNC is different than back in '68 is how police are responding to protesters. Thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters are in Chicago right now, calling for change in the U.S.'s involvement with the war in Gaza. Multiple lines of security fences separate protesters from the DNC. More than a dozen have been arrested so far. Witnesses say there have been some tense moments, but police say they're showing restraint. Rachel Grouse, 9 News.